Ms. KRAFT, will you call your first witness, please?
The state calls Bethany Rosen to the stand.
Please raise your hand. Ms. Rosen, do you swear that the evidence you are about to give will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Proceed.
Please state your name.
Bethany Rosen,
Where do you reside?
2300 Nueces Street, apartment 240, Austin, Texas, 78705.
And what is your occupation?
I'm a student at the University of Texas. I'm a sophomore, and I'm studying psychology.
Bethany, do you know the victim, KRISTY Wise?
I do.
Could you tell us how?
We're friends. I first met KRISTY when I started high school at Westlake High. We just moved to Austin, so I was the new girl, or one of them anyway. KRISTY and I, we got assigned to be lab partners in biology. Then we both got into UT Austin, so we just decided to room together.
So you are roommates on the address at Nueces Street?
Yes, ma'am, we are.
And do you know the defendant, Joe Harlan Jr.?
I do.
Could you tell us how?
I met him at school, at UT. We know some of the same people, so we'd see each other from time to time, like at campus or parties.
How would you describe your relationship with him?
There isn't one, so none. Like, I know who he is, and he knows who I am, but that's it. Like, we'd say hi on occasion, so we're acquaintances, I guess, if you want to put a label on it.
Did you ever discuss him with KRISTY? You guys ever talk about him?
Well, yeah, we thought
Objection,
that...
Your Honor. Hearsay.
Sustained. Ms. Rosen, you can discuss what you thought, but not anything that Ms. Wise spoke to you directly. She'll have an opportunity to speak for herself later. Understood?
Yes.
Bethany, what did you think of Joe Harlan?
I thought that he was kind of full of himself. Like, his dad's a politician, a state senator, and he's always talking about him. Like, I get it, it's cool to be proud of your parents, I guess, but with Joe, it's always like he's trying to show off, like name dropping and stuff. And beyond that, he's also a bit of a creep. Like, flirts with everyone, eyes all over you, and with him, it's always like, hello, dude, my eyes are up here. And the guys that he hangs around with, yeah, they're not much better. Like, some of them are kind of nice, but the others, yeah, they're kind of shady. Do you know what I mean?
Can you tell us about Halloween night?
Yeah. So, KRISTY and I, we went out for the night. Like, it's a big night on campus. And we dressed as Mario and Luigi. You know, like the video game? The Mario Brothers, I was Luigi. I got photos on my phone if you want to see them.
No, that won't be necessary. Could you tell us about the night?
Yeah. So, KRISTY and I, we went out, but like, KRISTY's not real big on going out, but she had a big midterm paper due, and it was due like right after Thanksgiving, and she didn't want to take it with her on break, so she wanted to stay home. But that is why I did the Mario Brothers costume. I figured that if I got costumes for the both of us, that I could convince her. Because who is Luigi without Mario? Am I right?
So, when Halloween night came about, it wasn't KRISTY's plan to go out?
No, she wanted to stay home and study.
Okay, then what happened?
Well, I convinced her that we should go. So we headed out at like 8 o'clock. A friend of mine, of ours, was having a party at her house, Laura Ashton, so we headed over. It's only like a 15-minute walk from the apartment.
Were there a lot of people there?
Yeah, the place was jumping. We were having a good time. And then Joe and some of his buddies turned up, Frank and Marty, and a couple other guys I didn't know.
And when you say Frank and Marty, who are these individuals?
Stern. Frank Stern. He's one of those shady guys that I mentioned before. It was him and Marty McCall. They all like live together. So yeah, we were just chilling and stuff, and I look around and I can't see KRISTY. But you know Jimmy, Laura's boyfriend, he was grilling out back, so we're all like in and out. So at first, I didn't think much of it. But then I actually started to look for her, and I couldn't find her.
At what time?
I'd say like 10:30, so I take out my phone to text her, and that is when I see the tweets.
Which tweets?
So 2 tweets from Bunny Ears, that's KRISTY's handle. So just as I'm about to text her, that's when the third one comes up.
May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Thank you. Let me hand you what I have marked as State's Exhibits 1, 2, and 3. Have you seen these before, Bethany?
Yeah, those are the tweets.
Could you read them out loud, please, with the timestamps?
Yeah. 10:22 p.m. Feeling better. Love Halloween. Be safe, everyone. 10:24 p.m. Found someone special. Chivalry is not dead. Gonna get funky tonight. 10:31 p.m. Reward your Prince Charming. Life is short.
And what did you think when you first saw these that night?
That's not KRISTY.
Why did you think that?
Well, for one, KRISTY's super private. Like, she never tweets. I mean, sure, she's got a Twitter account, but she's only got like 7 followers, including me. And KRISTY would never say the word funky, ever.
So what did you do?
Well, I was weirded out, so I started to look for her. And that's when Marty, Joe's friend, he told me what happened. He said that KRISTY was out back by the grill and that she started to feel a little woozy. And that's when Joe, him, offered to walk her home, and that is when I started to freak.
Well, why did you start to freak?
I don't know. Intuition, I guess. Like all the weird tweets, and then that Prince Charming crap. Sorry, Your Honor. And then I find out that she's left the party with Joe Mama.
Joe who?
Joe Mama? That's just what we called him.
Objection, Your Honor. The name calling is unnecessary, irrelevant, and inappropriate.
Your Honor, I don't believe the witness's name calling. It speaks to character.
I'll allow it, Counselor, but follow up very carefully.
Yes, Your Honor. Bethany, you just referred to the defendant as Joe Mama. Can you explain why?
Well, like I said before, Joe's a bit of a creep. So I made up a joke nickname for him. Like, it's just a play on an old Yo Mama joke. It went, Yo Mama's so dumb that she failed a blood test. Like, we just thought that if Joe took a blood test, that he'd fail. You know, like STD.
Objection, Your Honor. That's hearsay.
Your Honor, we're not offering the testimony to prove that the defendant would actually fail a blood test. It goes to the state of mind of the victim and of the witness, how they perceived him. Well, if they called him that, it begs the question whether Miss Wise would consent to intercourse with him.
I'll allow it. Continue.
So, yeah, we called him Joe Mama.
Joe Mama, okay, so you're at the party, you're concerned that she's gone, then what happened?
Well, I tried to call her, no answer.
At what time?
According to my phone, it was 10:42 p.m., so only like 9 minutes after that Prince Charming tweet. No answer. So I left the party and went back to the apartment. Like I said, it's just a 15-minute walk. And when I got there, I went straight up to the unit.
And what happened?
I opened the door, and there he was, right in the middle of the living room on the floor, and he was on top of her. I guess that he heard the door as I came in because he was rolling off of her and his pants were down by his ankles and he was still, you know, erect with a condom on, and she was just out of it completely.
How do you mean?
I mean, she wasn't moving. She was just lying there. Her top was kind of open, and she was naked from the waist down.
So what did you do?
Well, I freaked. I pulled my pepper spray, and I was just telling him, just get the I used some really vulgar language, Your Honor. I told him to get the F off of her and just get out. I was yelling, and I don't remember exactly what I said, but I was calling him names, and I was just telling him just to get out. And he looked scared. He looked guilty.
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Your Honor, the witness is giving her impression of what she saw. We can all register and interpret human emotion and reaction.
I'll allow it. Continue.
I'm sorry, I don't remember the question.
You were telling us about going back to the apartment and what you saw.
Right. So I was yelling, and Joe got up, and he used one hand to pull up his pants, and he had the other out as if to keep me away. And he just kept saying, she's fine, she's fine. She didn't look fine. She just finished having sex on the floor in the living room, and she wasn't moving. Then I guess he left because I was alone with her, and I tried to wake her, and she wouldn't respond. So I called 911, and they sent an ambulance for her. But they wouldn't let me ride with her.
So what did you do?
The only thing I could do. I called her mom and told her what happened.
Bethany, did KRISTY ever tell you she was attracted to Joe Harlan?
God, no.
You know KRISTY well. She's your close friend. Do you think she would have had sex with Mr. Harlan of her own free will?
Objection, Your Honor. Calls for speculation.
Your Honor, the witness...
Sustained, Counselor. You know better. Try another line of questioning.
That's all I have, Your Honor. I pass the witness.
Mr. Fletcher?
Hello, Miss Rosen. My name is Brandon Fletcher. I just have a few questions for you.
Okay.
Ms. Rosen, you were not with KRISTY Wise when the text messages were sent from her Twitter account, correct?
That's correct.
So you have no first-hand knowledge as to whether she sent them or not?
Well, I know that she
Objection, Your Honor. Non-responsive.
Sustained. Ms. Rosen, you have to answer his questions if they're yes or no questions with just a yes or a no.
Yes, Judge, Your Honor.
Again, you were not with Miss Wise when the text messages were sent from her Twitter account, correct?
That's correct.
So you have no first-hand knowledge as to whether she sent them or not. Is that also correct?
Correct.
Ms. Rosen, what did you have to drink on Halloween?
Before or after Joe raped KRISTY?
Objection, Your Honor.
Overruled, Counselor. You weren't clear as to timing. It's your question.
Apologies, Your Honor. Ms. Rosen, prior to returning to her apartment on Halloween night, what did you have to drink?
Vodka?
How many?
3 or 4?
Or was it 3 or 4?
I don't remember exactly.
And were you drinking straight vodka or vodka and tonic or vodka lime and soda? Or
Straight vodka. You know, calories.
What was Miss Wise drinking?
Besides the roofies he slipped her?
Actually, let's discuss that since you brought it up. After Miss Wise was taken to the clinic.
Hospital.
Yes, that's right. After Miss Wise was taken to the hospital, she was found to have drugs in her system, correct?
Yeah. Rohypnol, a date rape drug, correct.
Do you happen to know, or more specifically, do you happen to know firsthand how those drugs got into her system?
No.
So, you are not here to testify that Joe Harlan gave KRISTY the Rohypnol, are you?
No, but it's obvious
Objection,
that...
Your Honor.
sustained. Again, you'll have an opportunity to clarify if the prosecution chooses to redirect, but for now, just answer yes or no.
Okay, but I don't like the way this works, Judge. No offense.
So, to be clear, you are not here to testify that Joe gave KRISTY Rohypnol, are you?
Correct.
Equally, you cannot testify. You have no evidence that Joe even knew that KRISTY had even ingested any Rohypnol. Is that right?
That's right.
In fact, you didn't even know that KRISTY had ingested any Rohypnol until after you read the lab results. Is that also true?
Yes.
Right, so you're not here to testify as to what Joe Harlan knows, correct?
About what?
Well, you can't possibly know what Joe Harlan knows or doesn't know, correct?
I'm sorry. I'm confused again about what?
All right. Let me give you an example. Does Joe Harlan know how many vodkas you drank on Halloween?
I have no idea.
No, and in addition, you have no idea, you have no clue as to whether Joe Harlan knows that KRISTY Wise had even ingested any drugs on Halloween, correct?
He knew that she was
Objection, Your Honor, responsiveness.
Objection, Your Honor. Counselor is badgering the witness. He just asked Miss Rosen about what Mr. Harlan knew, and she began to answer that by stating, quote, he knew that, and then he cut Bethany off.
I'm going to have to sustain the objection, Counselor. I mean, you have to at least let the witness get to a point where something objectionable is stated.
Your Honor, you haven't ruled on my objection.
Objection overruled, objection sustained. Continue, please.
Thank you, Your Honor. As I said, he knew that KRISTY was feeling unwell. Bad enough that she wanted to go home. If she was feeling so unwell, then sex would be the furthest thing from her mind.
I have nothing further for this witness, Your Honor.
Nothing further?